Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Tournament 5. The sub-tournament Part 5. We got a really good one for you all. It's going to be Ryan versus Preston. These two have been in a lot of tournaments, so this should be really good. And by the way, it's all Hora, and both of their teams are Hora. I don't think there's any characters besides that are Hora related. And we are starting off here with the Fly. Yeah, looking at the list, it's all Hora related. Yeah, so if you guys are Hora fans, you're going to love this one. But we're starting off with the Fly, and a lot of these characters are not like main Hora characters. They're like subgenres or side characters. You know, the Fly's not as popular. Of course, there's going to be no Freddy or Michael Myers in this. But we do have some really good ones still. We actually have some heroes also. Some video game characters, movie characters, TV characters. So we're starting off with the Fly. And let's see who the Fly is going to be facing off with. And it is Herbert West from the Reanimator. So it's kind of a doctor versus doctor scenario. Well, more like a mad scientist versus mad scientist scenario. So we got one of my favorites, Herbert West. I love the Reanimator. The first time I ever watched the Reanimator, I absolutely loved it. And then after watching it the second time, that's kind of like, why did I really love this movie? It's still a good movie, but it's like, it's kind of gross. And thinking about it now, like after watching it on a second time, like, I don't know why I didn't get grossed out the first time. But I actually I just thought a couple scenes of that movie are very creepy. But anyway, we're starting off with Herbert versus the Fly, and so much for the Fly. Because Herbert has basically ended him. And that is a loss for, I believe, Preston. Yep, loss for Preston. So as they're eliminated, I will tell you what team they're a part of. And we got Nemesis in now. So Nemesis versus Herbert West. And Isaac Clarke is number 4 from Dead Space. I like how they have the meter on his back to show his health. That's hilarious. Whoever created him did a really good job. And you can download all of these on Community Creations. Xbox One, PlayStation, does not matter. You can get both. Either one of them. And Frankenstein is number 5. And look at Herbert West. This is going to be his second elimination. And Isaac Clarke is the second one out. So that's a loss for Ryan. So starting off 1-1. Got Frankenstein in here. And Chuck Green is number 6 from Dead Rising 2. Nemesis slamming Herbert West's face into the mat. This has been a crazy one already. And I love when we get all horror characters. It's always nice. And this time, like I said, it's a little bit different because you don't have the main guys. You don't have the Leatherface. You don't have the Myers. You don't have the Freddy. You don't have the main version of Jason. You could get another version of him in this one. But you do have Babyface Killer from Happy Death Day. I don't like the movie anyway, so I never watched number 2 and I didn't like number 1, so. It's one of my least favorites that everyone likes. I'm not a fan of it. It's kind of like a Groundhog Day horror movie where it happens over and over again. And I feel like Groundhog Day is the only movie that can do that well. And Tarman is number 8. Brains. Tarman is number 8. This is definitely interesting here. And let's see. Oh, Herbert West didn't go for the elimination on Nemesis. Nemesis is waiting on the ropes, and the Tarman is going to get him. And Hush is number 9. So Nemesis, big elimination there. And that is a loss for Ryan. I'm hoping number 30 doesn't win, because here lately we've had a lot of number 30 winning. I don't think it's been on every single one of these, but it's basically been on almost all of them. So I'm rooting for number 30 not to win this. And Chuck Green's been eliminated. So that is a loss for, I believe, Preston. Yeah. Preston loses Chuck Green. I need to play more Dead Rising games, but I just don't. For some reason, zombie games are just not. There's a couple good zombie games, and Dead Rising 2 is fun, but it's kind of I think gets repetitive. And Frank West, speaking of Dead Rising, here we got another Dead Rising star. Maybe I need to give him a go. Maybe that's something I can work on Twitch on, but I can't play games that are too old, because some people don't want to see those games. And Candyman is number 11. Yeah, we got a lot of people that are like, you're either getting video game horror or just some not as popular ones, like Hush and Herbert West. Candyman's probably the most popular one in this. I'm looking at both sides and really trying to think of anybody that might. Frankenstein. Frankenstein's pretty popular. And Beta is number 12 from Walking Dead, and looks like the Tarman is done, so that is a loss for Ryan. Beta from The Walking Dead, one of my favorite villains. I thought he was a very underrated villain. The actor is just really menacing. He's like a super tall guy, but he seems menacing as a character. So I think he did a really good job, and sometimes you got to have a really great actor to have a really great villain, like Negan, for an example, on Walking Dead. Negan's the best villain. And then they made him kind of a good guy, which makes no sense, but whatever. That show's over. Well, oh, wait a second. No, they're going to have 3 different shows next level, so it's never going to be over. I watched that show when I was in high school, and and here's the Cultists at number 13, I believe, from The Void, the movie The Void, which is a really good movie too. I watched Walking Dead when I was in high school for the first time, and went to college, worked for 4 or 5 years after college. It's still here. It's finally over. It's like, goodness gracious, and I've seen every episode and never missed one. It's like, how long can you go? And Frankenstein has been eliminated. And that is a loss for Preston. Preston's are in alphabetical order, so his is kind of easier. Ryan's are not. So even though they're one team's in, oh, there goes the babyface killer. That's a loss for Ryan. So Preston's are always going to be easier to find since they're alphabetical. And look at Beta. Beta is not playing around. How about a choke slam there? Goodness gracious. And number 14 is Jeff the Killer. The Cultist is done. That's a loss for Preston. And Hush is done. That's a loss for Ryan. So the first one to take out 15 of their opponent's people wins. It's a concept that I came up with, and these tournaments have really been something, but I kind of feel like they're getting repetitive. But it's a little bit better when you have, like, when I did the team tournament, it really got to the point where nobody, a few people were coming in, depending on what team they were watching. But I felt like it didn't do as well. And I think it's because of the whole random, this one has just random people, and then you have people competing as well. So I may not do team tournaments again. This seemed to be more enjoyable for people, and hopefully and of course this game's getting old already and kind of getting repetitive, and it's already time for a new game, and I cannot wait for the AEW game. And Jack Baker is number 16, because then we're going to get a breath of fresh air. We're going to finally get a breath of fresh air that is needed. Herbert West has been eliminated. And the Governor is here. The Governor from Walking Dead's been eliminated. So that's a loss for Ryan. And Candyman's also done. So that's a loss for Preston. And there's one I missed. I just said his name. Sometimes I just forget that easily. But I think it was on Team Preston's. Oh, it's Herbert. Well, it wasn't. Herbert's done, though. So I don't know if it was him or not. I have trouble paying attention. I know a lot of people think, well, what is he doing? But no, I have attention problems. I could be talking about something 1 minute and lose track of what happened the next. So I try my best, though. And Carlos is number 18 from Resident Evil 3. And Stu is number 19 from Scream. Speaking of Resident Evil, I see Jack Baker. I just never played 7. I really don't have a desire to play 7. I don't like how 7's built. I did play 8. I beat 8. 8 was great. It had moments that were frustrating, of course, but and some of the puzzles were absolutely ridiculous. I'll go ahead and say it. Genius, but ridiculous. And Jack Baker's done. So that's a loss for Ryan. There's one puzzle in Resident Evil 8 that's like beyond ridiculous. And it is the one where you have to shoot the bells. And I tried to figure it out all by myself. Because I feel guilty if I look it up. I do feel guilty. But after a while, it's like, I cannot, it was either bells or candles. One of the two. And I'm looking for this, I believe it was a bell. And I cannot find it anywhere. I looked up and down that place, and it was outside. You gotta shoot it from inside, and it's like outside, and you can barely see it. You have to look out a certain window. I was like, really? What a trick. It's genius, but it's at the same time just trolling. At the level of trolling, if you ask me. And Brandon has been eliminated. That's a loss for Preston. And Twisty's here, my boy. And Jeff the Killer's been eliminated. So that's a loss for Ryan. Twisty stays in. I love that Twisty creation. It just doesn't show up sometimes on the main menu screen, but otherwise it's a really good one. It's actually one of my favorites, but it doesn't show up on the menu screen sometimes. Well, most of the time it doesn't. I don't know. That's just a 2K thing. It does that with like a handful of people that I have on here, but most of them show up. But if you look at the creation, it's flawless. It's a great creation. Look at the face scan. It's just like the clown Twisty and then the spikes on the head. They did a really good job with it. So I don't blame them. I blame 2K for that one. And Stu, that's going to be my new saying. When in doubt, blame 2K. Because that's what we're going to start doing. We're going to just start pointing fingers at 2K. Every time something goes wrong. My car doesn't start tomorrow. 2K's fault. Ash is number 23. I get the flu. 2K's fault. That's what I'm going to start doing. And Stu is hanging on for dear life here. Oh man, what a clothesline by Stu. Stu with a brutal clothesline. That was pretty crazy. And Carlos, huh? I don't know what in the world that was. Okay. And Dracula going after Frank West. Ash could have been easily eliminated, but Stu is a moron. I think we got Aiden in here. Yep. We got Aiden. Oh, well, spoke too soon. Because Dracula's done, and that's a loss for Ryan. So I believe Ryan's up to 9 losses right now. So we'll see what happens here. Uh-oh, Twisty has been eliminated. That makes 10. Frank West has been in here for a while. I've noticed he's been in here for a while, and Beta's been in here for a while. Beta could get another elimination here. Yeah, Beta's pretty strong, so it's possible. I mean, Ash could escape. And yeah, Beta's got him, I think. And Ash has been eliminated, and here comes Mr. Lag, David from Lost Boys. You're gonna notice some slow motion. There's 2 characters that I'm on to. Actually, there's 3. There's a certain Witcher character, and there's David from the Lost Boys and the Rorschach. Every time they're in here, things slow down. And it doesn't seem that bad right now, but yeah, it's kind of starting. It's not as bad as it usually. Yeah. For some reason, these characters, it's 2K's fault. We don't blame the creators. The creators do a wonderful job. 2K's the one that needs to straighten their act up. But isn't it funny? Every time, and we saw Rorschach, I think he was in one of the recent ones we did, where it went in slow motion then, I believe. And Coach is number 25. You'll have the fast rumble, and then all of a sudden it becomes a Michael Bay movie. Or 300, where they're throwing spears in slow motion. Ugh. Yeah, somebody's going to have to throw David out already. We already know the noodles he eats is actually worms, so he needs to leave. He needs to leave. And number 26 is Jason X. If you're asking why did I let David back in the tournament, I was too lazy to delete him. That's why. And if you want the actual reason, that's the reason. I didn't want to have to delete him and find somebody else. I just wanted to head straight into when I do the Rumble picks, I don't look at the roster. I just wait until I select them, and then I notice David or Warshak there. And I'm like, I'm not fooling with it. I'll risk most likely they're not going to make it to the end. And sometimes it doesn't lag. But I did notice a little, oh, there goes Carlos. So that's a loss for Preston. And it's not even, but I mean, it's kind of close. It's not too bad. And Frank West, no, Beta is the one that's done. Frank West is still in this thing. So Beta is going to be a big loss for somebody, and I think it's going to be Preston. Yep. So it's almost a tie between the two. If my records are right, it is 9-10. And Ryan's lost 10. So looking at who's left on his team, I've counted for everyone. So I know he has 5 left. Jason X is here, by the way, and he was one of the big guys. Oh my goodness, they need to throw the Lost Boy out to destroy the slow-mo Rumble. Come on, Van Helsing, throw him out. We have nothing but problems out of David's here on this channel. David Alderidge and David from the Lost Boys. Everybody likes to cause a problem by the name of David. And Otis is number 27. Van Helsing is trying to strangle David so he can get him out of here. It's not really bad right now with the, it's off and one right now. I'm hoping number 30 does not win. I don't know who number 30 is going to be, but I hope they don't win. Because we've had a lot of 30s win in this tournament so far. At least 3 of the matches we've had out of 4. I think it's 2 to 3 of them have been 30s. And number 28 is Dexter from Dexter. And there goes Otis, and I don't care because I don't like it. And that's a loss for Ryan. And if only we could get David out, we'll be even happier. And Coach Stu is going to take out Coach. Wow. That is a loss for Preston. So Preston has 10 gone now. Frank West is still in this thing. He's been very surprising. And there goes David. Thank you, Frank West. Thank you. And wait until David gets back. It's already getting faster. But once David gets back to the locker room, we'll be flying through this thing. And who is David a loss for? He is a loss for Preston. And Jason X, Van Helsing taking out Jason X. And that is a loss for Ryan. Ryan's got 3 left. They're going fast all of a sudden. Oh, funny. And there goes Dexter. Van Helsing took care of him. He didn't last long at all. It's funny how everything just started going fast once David leaves. Huh. And to be honest, it was a little bit slow before David entered, which makes me think that him getting to the Rumble, the one before his entry, made it slow as well. I'm going to blame him for everything. Him and 2K. But no, I'm going to blame... it's 2K's fault. It's not the creator's fault. He has no control over that. And Van Helsing has been eliminated, and that's a loss for Ryan. He's down to 2. And who is going to be number 30, I believe? And it is Steve Harrington from Stranger Things. So, Steve, I hope you don't win. I want number 30 gone. He's wearing his fast food costume. I like Steve. Steve's one of my favorite characters. So, I'm rooting for Frank West. I really am. He's done a great job. And Frank. Try to get rid of Ellis. Look at Frank West dropping it on Stu's back. And look at Stu. Oh, man, what a move there by Stu. Good high-flying move. Oh, man. Slaps Ellis across the face. Goodness gracious. And Ellis could be in trouble here. And Ellis has been eliminated, so that is a loss for Preston. And, Frank West. Oh, come on, Frank. Oh, my goodness. He did so well. I may have gave him a WrestleMania pass, but it's a 1v1. It's Stu versus Steve. Ryan has Stu. Preston has... Wait. Ryan has both. So, Preston had Ellis and Frank West, so he's been eliminated. Ryan wins. But we are down to these two, and Stu, come on, man. I am rooting for you because I do not want 30 to win again. You may be crazy, Stu, but you have movie knowledge just like I do. So, I'm hoping that you defeat Steve. I like Steve a lot, but he's number 30. And number 30 needs to go down once and for all because I'm sick of number 30 winning. So, Stu's been in here for a while, though. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, come on. Oh, my goodness. And Steve. Come on, Stu. Hang on. This could be it. And Stu hangs on. We are down to 2. Ryan's already won. So he's going to the Elite 8. So congratulations to him. But only one of these two is going to win this Rumble. And look at Stu here. There you go. All right. Number 30 goes down. Yay. Oh, thank goodness. Thank goodness 30 loses. Finally. I hate seeing a certain number win so many times in a row. Because then it looks like it's, already set up to who's going to win. But Stu, even though you did me a favor, you're not going to WrestleMania. You're not. Yeah, I'll give you free tickets to AEW Dark. How about that? Well, no, I'm not going to do that. That's too. I mean, AEW Elevation. That's too painful. I would never do that to anyone. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. Stu won. Stu defeated Steve, and congratulations to Ryan. For a while there, it wasn't looking good for Ryan, but then he got that. It was a 2v2, but Ellis and Frank West went out quickly, and they were both on. So it was pretty fair. It was a pretty fair Rumble overall. But both of Preston's guys went out right there. So Ryan wins. He will go to the Elite 8. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Had a lot of fun doing this one. It's good to see that number 30 lost. And I will see you all later.